Late, late live. A very long day. Oh, goodness. Mm. This is a very late live. Hello, everybody. Everybody that's gonna come in. Everybody that's gonna watch later. Yeah, this is a very late live because I had a very, very long day. But I just wanted to hop on. If you saw the thumbnail, we're gonna be talking about Brian McKnight, and he was trending over the weekend for some reason. It's not like something he did that weekend, but it was probably some people were scrolling through his Instagram and they saw a lot of things that probably triggered them, and that's probably why he's trending. So yeah, so back in December, I had made a video because he had bought his stepdaughter, whose name is Julia, a luxury BMW. I think it was like a 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And he was saying, in the caption, he was like, to the best daughter. I think she had just graduated, if I'm not mistaken. But whatever the reason, he bought her the luxury car, and he was saying to the best daughter. As you know, that's his stepdaughter. He has an actual daughter, but his relationship with his actual children, like his biological children, is very, very strained, very, very strained, and yeah, it's like on that's where the tick for tat to me goes on social media with him and his children, but mostly him. He recently had a baby. I believe him and his wife recently gave birth. Well, the wife gave birth. They had a son, and he actually named the son Brian McKnight. Even though it's in the middle, it's that Brian McKnight Makoa, because I believe the wife is Hawaiian, but his older son name is Brian McKnight already. Then I believe the older son has a son, and his name is Brian McKnight the third. So he already has a Brian McKnight Jr. And then his son had a son, and then he named him Brian McKnight third. So usually, when people you already have a child that's named after you, you don't name another child the same name. Usually, people don't do that, but Brian McKnight named I don't know what. I guess his name is just Brian, and the two other names, and McKnight. I don't know. But for somehow somebody was triggered, or a few people were triggered, and he was trending over the weekend. And this time people actually went in his Instagram and was searching, and then was calling him out on different things. Now, when I did the video about him and this extravagant gift that he bought for his stepdaughter, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I guess the caption that he put um, rubbed people the wrong way. It rubbed people the wrong way, and but in the video that I did, it looked like he didn't really have a bond with the actual biological daughter, because he was like, it's not like a child that he planned for. The mother wanted money or whatever, So when you in predicaments like that, you see people don't think when they are having, you have to be very mindful of people who you having kids with. So if the person didn't really have a relationship with you, they didn't really like you, it was just maybe a one night stand or whatever it may be. If a child comes out of there, it's very rare. Some, some man or woman, they would still love that child because that child came out of them. But some people, they will never be able to bond with that child. So it seems like he really never had a bond with this young lady. So because when you look through the Instagram, he shares more pictures and videos of his stepkids. Yes, with sons, because when he was getting married, he had, say, 4 generations of McKnights and stuff like that. But not saying he probably never had pictures with the daughter, but on his social media page, especially his Instagram, I saw a family picture. Maybe she was in it. She's in that picture. But to have, like how you see, he have several pictures with his stepdaughter Julia, and say how she's proud of her, and different things like that. Doesn't have that with the daughter. Doesn't have that with the daughter. And I think his problem is probably with his sons because, you know, he paved the way for them, made a way for them, and they really didn't accomplish anything in life. So he was like he stopped supporting them like they when they were in, let's say, their earlier 20s. So he paid an apartment for them for 2 years, and he's like, you know what, this is it. I won't be able to help you guys anymore. And I guess I don't know if the kids put it out there, and he was being dragged for, dropping his kids and leaving his kids. But those are grown adults. Those are grown adults. So there's no reason why he should be supporting those kids. But then this is the thing, he enabled them. He enabled his children. There's a point of time. When is it the right time to, let your children learn on their own? They were in their 20s when he was still supporting them. So some people, some kids grow their independence when they are dependent 12, 13, 14, 16. But 20, if you're 20 in your 20s and you're still being supported by your parents, that's really doesn't make sense. But most of the time, the parents have to take, when people have to take accountabilities for what part they played in the situation. You supported them all the way up to in their 20s. They probably didn't have any skills. They didn't develop any skills. They didn't the connections that you may have had. They didn't take advantage of that. And now, since you keep on having to give to them, keep on having to give to them, so now he became tired. He became tired, and then they would not they didn't live up to the expectations that he had for them, basically. But then when he got married to Leilani, and probably the way that she raised her kids, these kids are, wow, so exemplary. Oh my goodness, these kids are, wow, these are the kids that I always wanted. But it's the way Leilani, his wife, raised her children. Brian McKnight made it easy, in a sense, for his kids. Made it easy for them. They don't know any struggle. Everybody. I've heard people say that. Um, if I'm gonna have kids, I don't want them to know struggle. I don't want them to go through anything. I want them to have everything. Not all the time. That's a good thing. Like I've said before, why you have what you have, why you are where you are, is because of that struggle. That's what made you hungry, so you can make a name for yourself. But when everything is so smooth, you don't have to work for anything. You don't have to work for anything. You tend to, especially with raising kids, you tend to raise, excuse me, you tend to raise ungrateful kids, entitled kids, lazy kids, prideful kids, because everything came easy for them. They didn't have to work for anything. They didn't have to work for anything. So, I guess I'm not sure if after he dropped them, that's when they went. He had said they had broke into his allegedly his one of the boys or both of the boys broke into his home, and then messed up the his wife pictures and stuff like that. Yeah, so their relationship is very, very strange. You know, a lot of people will in the comments say, "Oh, you need to mend your relationship with your families, everything." You know, we could choose our friends and our associates, certain associates, but we can't choose our family. And sometimes certain families are toxic, and certain families you have to love them from a distance. You have to, because your relationship is very strained. It's probably never going to, you know, be the way that you want it to be or back to how it used to be. So sometimes you have to love people from afar. So people telling him, you know, he need to make amends with his children. It probably it's been so exacerbated that they can't. There's no amends making. But the thing is, with Brian McKnight, it's like I don't know if he's using social media because you know his kids are younger. In a sense, because he's so hurt and so disappointed in how the kids turn out. So he's using social like it's every time he's uplifting the step kids and stuff like. Not saying that he shouldn't do that, but then is he's uplifting the stepkids more. The last time I saw him posted about his sons was like 2018, and after that it's just the stepchildren. And now you know he has a son with his wife. So you know your kids probably always on social media, and for them to be seeing you post this about that, that could turn out to be that could turn out to bite him in the behind, because they keep on seeing you uplift these kids. You always spending time with them. You buying them luxury stuff. You cut them off, and as he should, because come on, when are you when they were going grow up? But for him to be posting, keep on posting about the stepchildren, uplifting them, that could turn around and cause some kind of deep seated hatred, and then it doesn't turn well. We wouldn't, of course, we wouldn't want to wish that, but sometimes that's how it happens. Oh, you guys are probably the ones, a scenario that caused my father not to support us, even though we like 25 or 26. But it could turn around and yeah, not be good at all. And then when you go on his Instagram, he's the husband of his Leilani, his wife, and then he's the father to Jack and Julia, which is Leilani's children, but his stepchildren, and then now the new baby. And I think it's other names. I'm not sure if that's probably a baby that they miscarried, but completely didn't even mention the other three biological children at all. So I don't know. I can understand he's disappointed. He is hurting because he was like even they uh, um, his wife tried to help them get a job and stuff like that before he dropped them, and then they didn't want to do it because they was like they know they was gonna have to take a drug test, and they didn't want to take no drug test. So they was like forget that. So he's like the wife tried to help them, and then they spit in her face each and every time. And you can tell Brightman that he love his wife's job. You gonna disrespect my wife? Uh-uh. you cut off. But everybody has to take responsibility in this situation. Brian McKnight enabled these children to be this way. You didn't know it's going to turn out that, because when you make it so easy for your children, most of the time it never turns well for you and well for them. And this is what happens. And then with the kids, they cannot keep supporting you forever. You your your father was Brian McKnight. He had a level of fame, a level of connections. You didn't use that to your advantage. He had money. You could have go to any school that you wanted to, get a good job. I mean, go to any school that you wanted to. And then the fact that you were Brian McKnight children, people would open doors for you just so they could get close to your father. They didn't take advantage of that. So I don't know what they're doing now. And then the daughter, he never really. It was not like a child that he planned for. It was not like the mother, her mother. They had some. He was in love with her. So this is when people, some women, they go after certain men so they could secure their future, secure the bag. But then, yeah, you're going to have money, but then that child is going to lack something, because a child needs a father and a mother. And they're going to always have a void that money cannot fulfill. And then when if she's going online, she's seeing that, wow, she yearns for a relationship with her father, but she's not able to get that, because he has his stepdaughter. All this causes resentment and bitterness, and maybe that's probably why he may not want to deal with her, because of the resentment and bitterness of that. She acts a certain way with him, talks a certain way with him, because she can tell that you don't care about me. Yeah, you pay your child support, but I would love to spend time, or spend time with you. You love on me, I love on you, but that's not happening. And it can't happen because he really never had a connection with her, according to him. Because if you, I think I had that on my video, but if not, it's the videos out there. He never really had a relationship with the daughter, because it was not like a child that he planned for, and he had nothing for the mother. It looked like it was maybe a one night stand or whatever it may be, but whenever a child comes in a relationship dynamic like that, that's not even a relationship, but whatever come in a situation, a ship like that, most of the time the father or the mother never have a connection with that child, and then the child suffers. But sometimes people don't care. All they see is dollar signs. All they see is dollar signs. Anyway, and mind you, like I said, he's trending again, but it's not like he posted something. He didn't post something. It's just, I think people were going through, a group of people or somebody was going through his posts, who probably had a platform and put it out there, and then that's how he went viral again. And then people really started to look, and he's like, "Oh, you made me a girl dad." I don't know why people use that term. Use a girl dad is somebody who has multiple girls, like, and then you only have girls. But now the person of one daughter, oh, I'm a girl dad. Person of one son, oh, I'm a boy mom, a boy dad. You have to have several of those kids, and sometimes, usually, that's all you have. But anyway, I guess people want to be putting claims on themselves. So that's all I had to say on this situation. Yeah, that's all I had to say on this situation. Thank you for watching, and thank you for tuning in to this late live. I had a very long day, very, very busy, very, very, very busy day. Hopefully it's not like this all the time. But yes, thank you for everybody that tuned in and you're gonna tune in. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.